Deb Cooper with the Canine Chronicle, bringing you Table Talk Live with Tim Thomas, the Vice President of Dog Show Judges. And as we're watching this segment right now, we all remember that social media has become extremely popular in our sport. I think, Tim, you'll agree with me that it's basically changed kind of the footprint of our sport.
It has in many ways. I mean, it's just, I think back to when I was still showing and the different world that we are now.
It's,
10, 15 years later, the influence it's had on it.
First we had cell phones.
Yep.
Now we have social media.
Yeah, we remember the days we used to line up at the one payphone on the grounds and make the calls home with the results.
Right?
Yep. Yep.
Right? I mean, now, nobody gets to hear from the person that's actually showing the dog what happened with their dog if they're not at the dog
exactly.
show. So, in any
instantaneous
event,
results.
What we're trying to do today is perhaps give the fancy a heads up about what should and should not be practiced on social media.
Yeah, it's an interesting but a difficult topic because it's a wonderful medium for people to communicate and express their viewpoints and share information. But from what we've seen, at least, so speaking specifically for the department that I'm involved with, judging operations, we see a myriad of feedback from it, from the positive to the very negative. And it has a great influence on our sport. If not one of the highest percentage of rate of complaints that we receive or that come into our department that we address is centered around social media conduct. Whether it be exhibitors towards judges themselves. And so it's something that we're addressing every day, and the rate of flow that comes in is increasing. And at least from our view, from where we sit, it's something that I think from our sport we all have to be conscious of and think of what we do and what we say and the influence it can have, not just other exhibitors, but for new people coming into the sport. We've always had the moniker judges are held to a higher standard, and sometimes I think judges just forget innocently, or they're not thinking as far as the perception that the other exhibitor has when someone who had shown to a judge recently and posts their picture on their timeline and tags a bunch of judges in the picture, and then it appears on the judge's page. And now every other person that might show the breed to them thinks, well, why am I going to show to them? They're promoting that dog. And that is considered promoting. And judging guidelines are clear. You cannot promote or denigrate dogs that may exhibit to you. And we are, on a pretty regular basis, contacting judges, and it's always education first. You need to remove that from your timeline. It's considered promotion. And everyone's compliant, and in almost all cases it's, oh my God, I never thought of it that way, but you're right. So we have to think about those things because it does impact people that enter under you. And so they understand, but we have advised judges for a while. Set your security settings as you can to where you have to approve those things on your page. If the dog not being shown to you or can't be shown to you, doesn't matter.
Right.
If you could walk in your ring, it's a problem.
So in a do's and don'ts kind of a situation, what we're saying, I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is what you should not do really is tag judges in photographs.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead, finish.
You should not denigrate other dogs or judges' decisions, right?
Absolutely. Judges held to a higher standard. Judges should not be criticizing other judges. Judges.
What about exhibitors? Exhibitors shouldn't be criticizing a judge's decision either. I mean.
Right. So it is there. So. Boy, it really gets, we start slicing hairs here.
Okay.
Exhibitors obviously have the right to state their opinions. God bless, we hope it's done with some class and decorum.
Right.
But I ask your audience to think about sometimes the things that when they're just expressing their frustrations, and maybe they're based on strong information and maybe they're just your opinion, the impact that it has on that new person coming into the sport.
Right. How does it look? How does it look to the new person
Exactly.
coming in. I mean, and that is what, you know, is just, especially if they don't understand yet.
And the thing that's most dangerous is when people are posting or making comment on things that happen on the other side of the country that they've heard second, third hand, fourth hand information. So we know that game we played as children, you know, how much the story changes, it carries from one to the other. And we're promoting it or blasting it all over social, and people assume it to be gospel. And that new person is coming to our sport that loves their dogs, that wants to go to dog shows, is saying, well, why am I doing this? You know, you've been in the sport for a long time. I've been in the sport for a long time. We want to be around forever. We have to think of those things to try to encourage new people to stay in the sport. Yeah.
So that's, I think, the message here, folks, is think about what it looks like to others before you post it. And if you have an issue with an individual, take it offline. Don't introduce that issue to the public on social media.
Yeah. I think it's a good rule across the board, not just for
That's
the sport.
Let's stay positive, okay?
Yeah,
We'll see you
absolutely.
soon.